Well, hello there. My name is Christopher Scott, and I serve as a small groups pastor of a local church. And in this video, I want to give you a brief introduction to the book of Joel, okay? A brief introduction to the book of Joel. This is a fantastic book. It's only 3 chapters. It's short and sweet, but it is a powerful book that I hope you enjoy reading and can grow from in your spiritual life and walk with Jesus Christ. So before I give you an introduction to the book of Joel, there's usually 6 things I cover in these introduction videos. I usually talk about the author of the book, the audience that he's writing to, usually give you the date of the book, and in the case of Joel, there's 2 possible main views on the date. Then I'll talk about the outline of the book, a key verse or key verses, and then a key theme of the book. But before that, I want to give you a historical background and a little historical context to the minor prophet books in the Bible, right? Specifically to Joel, right? So in the Old Testament, there are 5 major prophets and then 12 minor prophets, right? And those 5 major prophets are called major because they are very long. And for the most part, they're longer than the minor prophets. They're not more important. They're not more significant. They just have more content, more writing, more chapters, okay? And so in the 12 minor prophets, Joel is one of those minor prophets. And it's minor. It's called minor because it's only 3 chapters, okay? It's pretty short. And there's a difference in the kingdoms that exist during the time that go on during these minor prophets. The minor prophets kind of fit into a bunch of different historical contexts, and those historical contexts are based on the start is when King Rehoboam, which I have a link to a long video up there about King Rehoboam and how he split the kingdom, right? So the nation of Israel was united under David and Solomon, but then Rehoboam comes on the scene and he splits the kingdom in 931 BC to Israel in the north, which are 10 tribes, and then Judah in the south, which are 2 tribes, Judah and Benjamin, right? So Israel is in the north with 10 tribes, and their capital city is Samaria. And then Judah is in the south with 2 tribes, Benjamin and Judah, and their capital city is Jerusalem, right? And so that happens in 931 BC. And a little later, the Assyrians come on the scene, and in 722 BC, the Assyrians conquer the northern kingdom of Israel. They take Israel back to Assyria in 722 BC and just decimate them and conquer them, okay? So that's 722 BC. The Assyrians come and conquer the northern kingdom of Israel, right? And so after that, the Babylonians come on the scene and they conquer the Assyrians, okay? And then the Babylonians come to the southern tribe, the southern kingdom of Judah, the tribes of Judah and Benjamin, and they conquer Judah in 586 BC. But before that, they came in 605 BC, 597 BC, and then 586 BC was their third and final kind of time that they came to Jerusalem, to Judah, and just decimated the people, leveled the city, and brought all the people back to Persia, to Babylon. So that's Babylon. They come in 586 BC and decimate Judah, level it to the ground, and take all the people back to Babylon. Then shortly after that, the Persians conquer the Babylonians. You notice the theme here, kind of everybody's conquering everybody. So the Persians conquer the Babylonians. And then under King Cyrus of Persia, King Cyrus lets some of the people of Judah go back to Jerusalem, right? To restore their city and live life there like they used to live there. And that happens first in 538 BC under a guy named Zerubbabel, right? This is talked about in the book of Ezra, chapters 1 through 6. In 538 BC, Zerubbabel takes a remnant of people back to Judah, to Jerusalem, to restore life there in 538 BC. And then shortly later, a guy named Ezra takes some more people back in 458 BC, and he lets them live there. And that's talked about in Ezra chapters 7 through 10, okay? And then a guy named Nehemiah returns back to Judah in 444 BC. And we talk about that obviously in the book of Nehemiah. So that's a little historical background, and I got all the notes down there in the description of this video here on YouTube that will help you if you want to print those out and use them. And those dates come in handy because the minor prophets are all kind of slid in there amongst the different kingdoms and different nations and things like that. So that's a really important part. If you're going to study the books of the minor prophets, you need to have a little historical background and be able to look that up as you read the prophecies. So next, let's talk about Joel, right? Who is the author of Joel? Well, it is Joel, right? We know that in Joel chapter 1, verse 1. We don't really know much else about Joel except for his father's name, which was Pethuel, and he was from the nation of Judah in the south, right? And that's the audience he was writing to, the people in Judah, in Jerusalem, the southern kingdom that consisted of the tribes of Judah and Benjamin, okay? And there are two popular dates for the book of Joel. It's kind of like the book of Obadiah. It's really difficult to put a date to the book. And so there's usually two polar opposite dates that most people take. One is a date from 835 BC to 796 BC, right? So that's early on while both kingdoms are still in existence. The northern kingdom of Israel is still in existence and the southern kingdom, 835 to 796 BC. This is the view that Warren Wiersbe takes in his commentary, Be Amazed. The other view is 516 BC, which means Israel in the north has been taken to Assyria and Judah in the south has been taken back to Babylon, right? So there's a 300-year difference in the date here. And this view is taken by C. Hassel Bullock as well as Robert Chisholm in the Bible Knowledge Commentary, right? So that's the 516 BC date. So those are two dates you want to look at. If you have a good study Bible, it will usually explain those two dates. Things like that are a good commentary. I want to give you an outline for the book of Joel that's based on Warren Wiersbe's commentary, Be Amazed. This is a great commentary I'll talk about a little later, but I love the way he outlines the books and gives key verses and key themes, so that's what I usually use on these videos. So chapter 1 is the imminent day of the Lord. That's chapter 1 of Joel. The imminent day of the Lord, that the day of the Lord is near. Chapter 2, verses 1 through 27 talks about chapter 1 is the immediate day of the Lord, that it is near, right? The immediate day of the Lord is chapter 1. Chapter 2 is the imminent day of the Lord, chapter 2, verses 1 through 27. And then the third part, the third element, the ultimate day of the Lord is talked about in Joel chapter 2, verses 28 through 3:21, right? That God's Spirit is going to come, God's refuge is going to be there for the people when they need it. A key verse that Warren Wiersbe gives for the book of Joel is chapter 2, verses 12 through 13. It says, "This is what the Lord says. Turn to me now while there is time. Give me your hearts. Come with fasting, weeping, and mourning. Don't tear your clothing in your grief, but tear your hearts instead. Return to the Lord your God, for he is merciful and compassionate, slow to get angry and filled with unfailing love. He is eager to relent and not to punish," right? That's the key verses for the book of Joel, chapter 2, verses 12 through 13. And the key theme for the book of Joel is the day of the Lord, right? It's talked about, the day of the Lord is talked about here. Joel chapter 1, verse 15, chapter 2, verse 1, chapter 2, verse 11, chapter 2, verse 31, chapter 3, verse 14. Every chapter talks about the day of the Lord, right? And as you read this book, you'll learn about a plague of locusts and the day of the Lord and how those kind of go together, and you can do a little research on your own. So I hope this video was helpful for you as you study the book of Joel. If you're looking to learn more about the book of Joel, I recommend you get the Bible Knowledge Commentary. I have a link down there in the description. The links that I'll give you are affiliate links to Amazon, so I do earn a commission when you purchase something from Amazon, just to let you know. And so you can learn more by getting the Bible Knowledge Commentary, or a great book that I used is An Introduction to the Prophetic Books by C. Hassel Bullock, published by Moody. This is a great introduction to the Old Testament prophetic books that I used, and explains the views and the dates and the background that will help you a lot more. If you want to learn more about the book of Joel, I recommend you also get the commentary by Warren Wiersbe, Be Amazed. It's a great resource that kind of walks you through chapter by chapter through the verse and through the book, and explains some of the parts to it. And then if you don't have a good study Bible, everybody should have a great study Bible. I got some links down there for you for some good study Bibles. So if you found this video helpful, I would encourage you to subscribe up there. You can get updates on future videos. If you want to study the book of Joel in a small group, you can use the Wiersbe Bible Study Guide, Restoring an Attitude of Wonder and Worship. I got a how-to video up there that explains how to use this guide in a small group setting. If you want other brief introductions to books of the Bible, I got some of those videos over there, and some small group facilitator tips over there. Thanks for watching, and I hope to catch you again soon on another video.